Hi and Assalamualaikum to all. My name is Wan Aishah binti Wan Fatul. I'm a second year Bachelor of Law undergraduate from the National University of Malaysia, and I'm also a student from the Advanced Communication class. Today in this video, I'm gonna share a bit about gerund and simple steps to understand gerund. So, at the end of this lesson, students should be able to identify the basic concept of gerunds, to understand the usage of gerunds in a sentence, and lastly, students should be able to justify examples of gerunds in a sentence. What is a gerund? Do you know? I can tell you that I didn't even know what a gerund was before I started studying English formally. But native English speaker use gerund a lot in English all the time, whether we realize it or not. They are using English very frequently. So it is important for you to understand it too. So in today's lesson, I'm gonna show you how. Okay, I'm gonna start by answering your most basic question in the simplest way possible. What is a gerund? Gerunds look like a verb, but they're actually a noun. Alright, maybe you still don't know what that means. We all know that a verb is an action, right? We do a verb. For example, I jog every morning. But sometimes, I just want to talk about an action, not do the action. Jogging is one of my favorite ways to exercise. I love jogging. I'm talking about jogging as an action. I'm not jogging right now. I'm just talking about something that I love to do. So in other words, I'm referring to the action of jogging as a noun or a thing. So I've just used the gerund. That's it, that's the gerund. I used a word that looks like a verb as a noun. So how can we recognize the gerunds? What does it look like? Well, the gerund is formed by adding ing to the base form of the verb. So the base form is jog with ing, jogging. I love jogging. So jog is the base form, jogging is the gerund. So obviously, the reason why this is confusing is because jogging looks a lot like the continuous form of the verb, right? So to recognize a gerund, you need to pay attention to how it's used in a sentence. Alright, so here's the next question. When and how do we use gerund? Just like noun, gerunds can be used in many different situations. They can be used as the subject of the sentence, the object of the sentence. They can be used after prepositions. They can be used with fixed expressions, and we can sometimes use a gerund after another verb. Well, that is a lot of different possibilities, so we're gonna break them down together. Firstly, you can use a gerund when you want to use a verb as the subject of a sentence or a phrase. For example, volunteering is a good way to give back to your community. Eating fruits and vegetables is important for a healthy diet. Studying gerunds doesn't have to be frustrating. Alright, so that is how you use verb as the subject of a sentence or phrase to use it as a gerund. Alright, next, you can use the gerund as the object of the sentence. Now, there are a number of very common verbs that takes gerund as an object. For example, love, like, enjoy, prefer, dislike, hate. So all of these verbs can be followed by a gerund. For example, I really like cooking, but my fiance is a much better cook than me. Second example, she really enjoys taking picture of sunset. And next, I prefer buying meat from a local butcher. Yes, so that's how you use gerund as the object of a sentence. when you see a verb after a preposition, that is actually often a gerund. Preposition are basically words like in, on, at, under, behind, without. So those are preposition. For example, she walked out of the room without saying a word. Without is the preposition and saying is the gerund. So that's how you use it after a preposition. And so these rules about prepositions include expressions that end in prepositions like in spite of. In spite of training for years, she got knocked out of the tournament in the first round. There is no point in. There is no point in taking your jacket. It's really hot outside. Another example would be fed up with. I'm fed up with asking you to be quiet. Yeah. And there are some really common expressions that are followed by gerunds too. Really, for this purpose, you do just need to memorize these ones, like can't help. I can't help being a perfectionist. Can't stand. I can't stand working with people who always show up late. It's no use. It's no use leaving a message. She's never gonna call back anyway. To be worth. It's not worth spending so much money. These are all really common expressions that are usually followed by gerunds. Let's practice what we have learned already in this lesson. I want you to find the gerund in each of the example that I'm about to put in this video. And tell me, is it being used as a subject, an object, or is it being used after a preposition or with an expression? First test. It's no use avoiding him. He'll keep asking you until you say yes. So what's the gerund here? The gerund is avoiding, right? And it is a gerund used with a common expression. It's no use. It's no use avoiding. It's no use asking. Second one. Do you like watching a horror movie or a romantic film? So, which is the gerund? And it is a gerund used as an object, isn't it? Next one. Not realizing that one of my kids is sick is one of my biggest fears. So the gerund is realizing and is a gerund that is used as a subject. Next one. In spite of being injured, she still managed to finish the marathon. So the gerund is being and is a gerund used after a preposition. So that is all from me. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and I hope you enjoy learning from my short video today. Thank you.